Good morning, champions. Sometimes, in order to scratch my gear itch, I take a chance on returned instruments, stuff that's been purchased and then sent back for one reason or another. There's almost never a proper description of exactly why stuff was returned, but sometimes I take a chance, and sometimes it bites me in the ass, and sometimes it really pays off. Let me tell you about this one. So this one was actually a bit of a saga. There were two that had been listed, and I purchased the one that was listed as, being in better condition, just kind of general, again, no details, just like a general, like, it's in very good condition. I don't know what that means. I guess I gotta buy it to find out. Anyway, it showed up on my porch and had been repacked by somebody at the warehouse without any padding. It was in a massive box, just slipped inside of a plastic bag with no other padding in the shipment at all. And the delivery person was like, "Hey, you might want to open this, because even just picking it up to put it on your porch, like, I just hear something rattling around in there." So indeed, I opened the thing, and indeed, it was absolutely roached, like completely broken, parts broken off. Like, who does this? Who ships like this? But I still loved the idea of this guitar. It was a Telecaster with an HH pickup configuration, which means two humbuckers, which is a little bit uncommon and usually is reserved for the Telecaster Deluxe model, which can cost a little bit more. So I was like, a merchandise return that's pretty cheap with a pickup configuration that's usually reserved for more expensive models anyways, like this might be worth checking out. So I then purchased the other lesser listed one while dealing with all of the headache of doing the return stuff for the original one where the shipping was botched. Anyway, the second version showed up on the porch yesterday. And it had a couple things going on with it, but thankfully, I'm the guy that knows how to fix that stuff. First bit of good news was right out of the box. It was packaged properly in its factory box. Hooray! And it looked pretty much perfect, but the pick guard had a little bit of a bow to it, so it was sticking up a little bit weird. Funny thing is that because of the way this pickup ring, that black pickup ring on the guitar was black, I was like, this might look better with a black pearl pick guard switched in anyways. So before I even got it, I had already ordered a replacement pick guard. This black pearl. So that was an easy swap out, and honestly kind of negated the issue with the original pick guard. You can see the factory sticker is still on there, being a little bit bowed, a little bit curved so that the pickup's like stuck up weird. And then the other thing that had gone on with it, whoever had purchased it initially probably got tired of this little top hat switch cover. They pop off sometimes, and sometimes when it pops off a few times, you do stupid things like super gluing the dang thing onto the switch itself. So the person that bought it and then returned it, they did that. They super glued this little top hat switch cover on, but they pushed it down so far that then the plastic cover was hitting this switch plate, and you could no longer select the different pickup configurations using the switch. So I chipped it off. So of course I already have, like a handful of these laying around. The biggest challenge was getting the old tip cover off because it had been super glued. Thankfully I was able to do that without putting any mars or nicks or marks on the finish to anything. It came off in 3 different pieces, and I slipped this replacement on, and everything goes neck pickup, middle position with both pickups, bridge pickup. Works like a charm. And that's it. So this is like an off-brand pick guard replacement. Very, very cheap. Switch tip, also very, very cheap. And now, look at, I mean, I've got all the factory hang tags, all this stuff too. I mean, it's essentially a brand new guitar. And it's gorgeous. And it's a Telecaster, which is my favorite kind of guitar. And, you know, I mean, the plastic covers from the factory are still on these shiny pickups. Same with the little neck plate back here. I mean, for all intents and purposes, like, it's essentially like a store model, like a demo model now. But the biggest problem I'm gonna have, oh, I do love this like contour right here for the belly cut, they call it. That is not common on every Telecaster either. So a lot of really cool, unique things about this. And the biggest problem I'm gonna have, I love it. I love it, and now I don't wanna sell it. I buy these things, I do these flips to make little bits of money here and there and then fund, you know, kind of the keepers so that my hobby pays for itself. But man, this one might be one of those keepers. I love it. Quick follow-up now that I've showered for the day. You're welcome. It's worth mentioning that I did have to do a little bit of modification to this pick guard, this just kind of generic pick guard. Because of the non-standard pickup configuration, not many Telecasters actually have this humbucker here with the mounting ring that extends. I did have to make this little channel wider. So I took a fine file to the edges, and actually what you see as little fuzzies here, that's actually just like the factory film, the protective film that's on it that I just haven't peeled off yet. So all that considered, like, I feel pretty good about the way the handiwork turned out. And you know, for messing with a pick guard that was 12 bucks and a new, you know, barrel switch tip that was 4 something, pretty solid on my cost for these modifications. And of course, I did the full setup on it, adjusted the truss rod so that the neck relief is right, adjusted the intonation of the saddles front to back here, and then the height at which they hold the strings up. So it's playing like butter. I feel like I'm gonna feel good either way. If it sells for the price I'm asking, then I've done pretty well. And if it doesn't sell, oh darn, I've got another gorgeous guitar in the collection.